Hello and welcome to this another review video from Circuit Digest. This is Sharad, your host for today, and in this review video, I'll be reviewing this product. It's an energy harvester from ST Microelectronics. The main feature of this product is that it can capture or utilize energy harvested by different solar modules or something like a thermoelectric generator and use it to charge different chemistries of battery. So in this review video, I'll show you how it works under different lighting conditions, and I'll be utilizing two different kind of solar modules to charge the batteries. I'll be using a battery as well as a supercapacitor to show you how it works so that you can evaluate whether this product is perfect for your needs or not. I'll also be giving you and telling you about the application that it can be used. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is a Stival ISVO20V1, an evaluation board for SPV 1050 ULP. It is an energy harvester and a battery charger with a buck boost configuration. This two-way screw connector is used for connecting the PV panel or TEG with the development board. This two-way screw connector is an external supply to pin store. This eight-way screw connector is for connecting the battery. These two switches are for enabling or disabling the LDO. These are LDO's load connections. These three pairs of jumpers J1, J2 and J3 are used for enabling or disabling the MPPT. Now jumping into the heart of the system, the SPV 1050. It is an ultra low power and high efficiency energy harvester. It is a battery charger which implements the MPPT functionality and integrates a switching element of a buck boost converter. There are two dedicated LDOs in this board. Both are independent of each other. One is 1.8 volt and the other is 3.3, and both can be controlled through the dedicated pins. There is also an unregulated voltage output which is available to power something such as a microcontroller. By the way, the MPPT algorithm can be disabled by sorting the MPPT set pin with the store pin and by providing an external voltage to the MPP reference pin. Testing the energy harvester. To test the energy harvester, I've used it with two different kind of solar panels of different ratings and used two energy storage systems. First, I coupled both solar panels with 1 farad 5.5 volt supercapacitor, and next I used a 1200 milliamp hour battery. It was a lithium ion battery, and I've used both the setups in different lighting conditions. The first solar panel which I used is from PowerFin. It is SP337 and it belongs to the classic application series, which are extremely flexible and are meant for indoor usage. These are designed for applications such as wireless electronics, wearable, and IoT applications. This is a pretty lightweight module, weighing just over 1.1 gram and rated to give a max output of 70 millivolts. The company states that it provides a maximum current of 22 milliamps and voltage of 3 volts under normal conditions. And the short circuit current is around 28 milliamps and the open circuit voltage is 4.6 volts. The other solar panel was purchased from an e-commerce website, and the description stated that it's a 1.2 watt monocrystalline solar panel with a maximum output of 5.5 volt and maximum current of 220 milliamp. So I've used two of these similar modules connected in parallel. That is positive of one solar panel connected to the positive of another, and same for the negatives. Both the negative terminals connected together. So this setup will keep the output voltage constant while increasing the amperage, effectively increasing the power output of the solar module. Real-time testing of the setup and data analysis. So basically I've used the small solar panel, the flexible solar panel with the supercapacitor to show that even a minute amount of current can be used to charge a battery or an energy storage system. By performing the tests, I've got the following data. I charged the supercapacitor for around 2 hours and it got charged by 0.137 volt. That is approximately 9.385 milliwatt, or you can say that it is 1.6 microwatt of energy every second. But when kept outside in the patio, but not directly facing the sun, the small thin flexible solar panel was able to charge the supercapacitor with 39.5 microwatt of energy per second. That is decent, but this was done just to prove that our energy harvester is able to take small quantities of energy and utilize it to charge something like a supercapacitor or battery. Now coming to the second part, coming to the testing of dual solar panel setup, I charged the battery with the solar panel inside a moderately lit area, and I charged the battery from 3.52 volt to 3.538 volt in 90 minutes. That corresponds to 21.6 joules of energy or 4 milliwatt power per second. Testing the setup in the same lighting condition, it got charged by 60.48 joules in 3 hours. That is from 3.538 volt to 3.552 volt in 3 hours. And that is basically 5.6 milliwatt of energy per second. Now keeping the dual setup in a well-lit area during daytime but not directly facing the sun, it got charged by 970 joules in just 2 hours. That is about 135 milliwatt of energy every second. So this is a decent amount of energy and it can charge your battery from 0 to 100% in approximately 33 hours considering that you have a 1200 milliamp hour battery. So basically voltage multiplied by milliamp hour will give you the wattage of the battery, watt per hour. So our battery is 1200 milliamp hour and nominal voltage of a lithium ion cell is 3.7 volt, which corresponds to 4.4 watt hour of energy. Although it might not seem a very efficient method, but when you think it from the perspective that you're not actually using it to charge a battery for something like a mobile or something high powered device, but using it for embedded system or for something very low powered such as a weather monitoring system or something like an IoT or wearable device. So in that condition this setup makes sense because it's small and it can harness energy from something from a very dim lit source. So I believe that this is pretty good for a lot of usages. How and where we can use it. So as seen from the examples and from the data we've gathered, it is easy to say that we can use it for IoTs and devices which doesn't run throughout the day. Something like a Node MCU, which just utilizes 20 microamps of current during its deep sleep mode. Because in the deep cycle mode, all the components in the Node MCU are turned off. A Wi-Fi, system clock, CPU, everything is off, and only the RTC is working. That is the real-time clock, and the energy consumption is very low, 20 microamp. So even something as small as a thin film will able to charge the battery to utilize it. In the Node MCU, you can put the module in a deep sleep mode for up to 72 minutes. So an example sketch of the deep sleep mode will look something like this. First, the ESP8266 connects through the Wi-Fi, and then the ESP8266 performs the task. That is, it reads the sensor data, publishes an MQTT message, and after that, it goes into the deep sleep mode for a predefined period of time, which is up to 72 minutes. And after that, the ESP8266 wakes up again and the process is repeated over and over again. This method saves a lot of power because in most of the time the node MCU is in a deep sleep mode, so it usually takes 10 to 15 seconds of Wi-Fi connection, and only in that period of time it takes about 150 milliamp of current. So over the period of time it consumes really low power. The final conclusion, my take on this device is that it doesn't matter whether you keep your harvesting module in a well-lit room or inside your calm and serene room, no matter how minuscule the amount of energy generated by your solar panel or TEG is. This module will be able to make the energy usable by storing it in a battery or in a supercapacitor to be used later. It employs various techniques to condition the charge to keep your battery's health great, and its ability to charge different battery chemistries is just a cherry on the cake. So this energy harvester module coupled with a compatible solar panel or a TEG will be able to generate enough energy for your low powered application. Although you might have to decide the sizing of the storage system and your harness and solar panel, but rest assured it will be able to run your system. Thank you.